I love First Samuel. The Bible is trying to tell us something true about human relationships. And First Samuel really brings this out in an amazing way. I'm going to use First Samuel chapter 4 as my interpretive lens through which to read the book. We all interpret the Bible in a certain way, and we do this either consciously or unconsciously, maybe a little bit of both. And I just want to be upfront with you and say I think that chapter 4 is an appropriate way of interpreting Samuel. What's going on in chapter 4? Well, the Israelites have just gone to war against the Philistines, and they lose. And they're wondering, they're trying to figure out why they lost. Well, it must have been because God's not on our side. So let's just blame God, right? So what they end up doing is saying, well, if God is with us, then we'll end up winning. So they end up taking the ark of God, along with them to war. And before they get to the Philistine camp, they set the ark down, and they surround the ark, and they all chant, right? This big, loud, like war chant. And the Philistines hear this, and they do this war chant so that the Philistines will hear them and think that the Israelites are this huge, big army. And so the Philistines hear it, and they're afraid, because it seems as though the Israelites have grown, and they have this huge army, and now they're out to get the Philistines, and so the Philistines tremble, and they're scared. And they end up thinking, oh, we've got to go steal the ark. We've got to get the ark. And then that God will be on our side. So they have this rivalry. The Philistines and the Israelites have this rivalry over the ark. They want to defeat one another and possess this ark, right? Well, the Israelites end up losing to the Philistines. And the Philistines end up stealing this ark, the ark of God. So they take it along with them throughout various places in their territory. And everywhere they take the ark, something bad happens. They end up taking the ark to this temple of Dagon, right? And Dagon is this god of the Philistines. And there's this statue of Dagon. And they end up leaving the ark by the statue. Well, each night the ark is in this temple, Dagon falls. And eventually Dagon's arm breaks off, right? And the Philistines are like, oh, we can't have this ark here anymore because it's causing destruction. So they end up sending it back to the Israelites. Well, the Israelites now have this ark, but it even causes destruction amongst them. These group of guys, they end up looking inside of the ark and they die. What's going on here? What is this trying to tell us? I think it's trying to tell us that something about truth. So each of them want this ark of God, and I think the ark of God symbolizes truth. And we each want to possess the truth, right? We each want to hold the truth, and so we get in this rivalry with one another about what we think the truth is. So the Philistines want to take this ark of God, and the Israelites want to have this ark of God, so they end up having this rivalry over the ark. Well, no matter where the ark goes, no matter where truth goes, once we possess it, once we think that we possess it, it ends up exploding on us. It ends up causing destruction amongst us, right? No matter who possesses it. Well, we see this today. I mean, this is true for us today as well. No matter what truth it is that we think that we hold, we end up using that truth over and against other people. We see this in politics today. We see this everywhere today. Once we think we possess the truth, we can hit people over the head with it. We can use it to our advantage. And I think that First Samuel is critiquing this view of truth and saying, it's not that you possess truth. If we're lucky, truth possesses us. There's a difference here. If we possess the truth, that means that we can justify whatever violence we want to commit another person. Well, God said that we could do it. Well, here, God's not on the side of the Israelites, nor is God on the side of the Philistines. Once we think that we possess God, it explodes on us. We become arrogant and over and against others. But if the truth, if God possesses us, then we can just simply give God or the truth and say, take it or leave it. Here it is. There you have it. Right? So we see this throughout the book of Samuel. There are rivalries everywhere. From the very beginning with Hannah, her husband, and her husband's other wife. They have this rivalry. Eli has this rivalry. The prophet Eli has this rivalry with his sons. Saul and Jonathan, his son Jonathan, have this rivalry. Saul and David have rivalry. The Israelites have this rivalry with Saul and with Samuel. Rivalries are everywhere. How do we get out of this trap of rivalry, of thinking we possess the truth over and against another? I think that Samuel is also showing us the way out. And you see it in the relationship between Jonathan, Saul's son and possible heir to the throne, and David. Jonathan and David have this relationship where the book of Samuel says that Saul and David love one another as they love themselves. So Samuel loves David as Samuel loves himself. And David loves Samuel as David loves himself. They're seeking the best for one another. Samuel protects David from Saul, who's out to kill David, because Saul sees David as a rival to the throne. David renounces the throne. David doesn't want to have anything to do with the throne while Saul is alive. He laments that when Saul dies, he even laments. He cries that Saul is dead. So I think that somehow 1 Samuel is trying to show us the way out of these traps of rivalries that we get into, and seeking the best for the other. Even David seeking the best for Saul, his enemy, who's out to get him. So there I think 1 Samuel is trying to get us out of this trap. So that's what I think is important about 1 Samuel. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Bye.